Good day, Puerto Princesa! In the midst of the pandemic, education should continue. Your enthusiasm to learn and your courage to discover things around us is what a young scientist like you should look forward. Here we are on the majestic and world-renowned underground river where this year's journey in learning science will start. Hello, grade 9 learners! Join me as we discover the world of science. I am your teacher Noemi, and today we are going to explore the wonders of things happening around us. Welcome to Puerto Princesa Dream TV, your digital classroom as you walk through the lessons in grade 9 science. What are you waiting for? Get your paper and pen and let's start your learning adventure. Our lesson for today is about the structures and functions of respiratory and circulatory systems. In this lesson, we will first identify the key parts of the breathing system and the components of the circulatory system. Second, explain the process of how the respiratory and circulatory systems work together. To check what you have already know about the lesson, let's try this activity. I will show you the question and you are going to choose the letter of the correct answer from the given options. You are given 5 seconds to answer each question. And when you hear this means that the time is up. Are you ready? Let's start! Directions. Listen to the questions carefully. Choose the correct answer and write it on your paper. Number 1. Exchanging gases between the lungs and the environment is a main function of which body system? A. Circulatory system. B. Digestive system. C. Nervous system. D. Respiratory system. Number 2. Which chamber of the heart pumps the blood to the lungs? A. Left atrium. B. Left ventricle. C. Right atrium. D. Right ventricle. Number 3. What are the 5 main parts of circulatory system? A. Heart, lungs, epiglottis, blood, and veins. B. Heart, arteries, capillaries, blood, and veins. C. Oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, helium, and hydrogen. D. Pulmonary, systemic, lymphatic, circulatory, and respiratory. Number 4. Which of the following does not happen during inhalation? A. Air moves into the lungs. B. The diaphragm moves up. C. The pressure in the lungs decreases. D. The ribs move upward and downward. Number 5. What do you call the tiny air sacs found in the lungs? A. Alveoli. B. Bronchi. C. Bronchioles. D. Capillaries. Check your answers on the screen. Number 1, D. Number 2, B. Number 3, B. Number 4, B. Number 5, A. Did you answer the questions correctly? If yes, you're awesome. If not, that's fine because as we go along with our lesson, you will learn and understand more about this topic. Have you ever wondered how our body works? Our body is an amazing masterpiece that performs extraordinary roles and duties. Every part and system have a corresponding function with proper organization. Today, we are going to focus our attention to the two of the most important systems in our body, which are the respiratory and circulatory systems. We have different parts and organs in our body which belong to the respiratory system that helps us breathe. Respiration is also associated with the exchange of gases from our body to the environment and back and forth. Distribution of nutrients and other materials throughout the body is the main job of circulatory system. Do not forget that circulation means transportation or movement in circles. Are you ready? Heads up, focus, and let us know how the different structures of the respiratory and circulatory systems work together to transport oxygen-rich blood and nutrients to the other parts of the body. The respiratory system is the network of organs and tissues that help us breathe. Respiration is also associated with the exchange of gases from our body to the environment and back and forth. Now, let us get to know the passageway of the air in the human respiratory system. When we breathe, the air enters through the nose, moves through the trachea or windpipe, which separates into two branches called bronchial tubes or bronchi. The bronchi subdivide many times inside the lungs, like a branching pattern, finally becoming hair-like tubes called bronchioles. In the last part of the bottommost bronchioles are a tiny bubble-like bunch of structures called alveoli or air sacs. When you breathe in, your diaphragm muscles contracts downward, and rib muscles pull upward, causing air to fill up the lungs. Do you know how this happens? Next up, the circulatory system. The circulatory system works with other body systems to deliver different substances in the body such as oxygen and nutrients. At the same time, it also removes other waste products like carbon dioxide away from the body. The following are the three major parts of the circulatory system with their roles. 1. Heart. It pumps the blood throughout the body. 2. Blood vessel. It carries the blood throughout the body. There are three kinds of blood vessel. Each of these plays a very specific role in the circulation process. Arteries. It carries oxygenated blood away from the heart to the cells, tissues, and other organs of the body. Veins. It carries the oxygenated blood to the heart. Capillaries. The smallest blood vessel in the body, connecting the smallest arteries to the smallest veins. The actual site where gases and nutrients are exchanged. 3. Blood. It carries the materials throughout the body. Everyone, look at your fist. Did you know that the heart is a hollow muscle which is just as big as your fist? It has 4 chambers with specific tasks to do. 2 ventricles and 2 atria. The atria are the receiving chambers of the heart, accepting blood from the body through the right atrium, and from the lungs through the left atrium. The ventricles are the pumping chambers, moving blood to the lungs through the right ventricle, and to the body through the left ventricle. The heart has 2 pumps. Each pump has 2 chambers, the upper and the lower chambers. The upper chamber is the atrium that receives blood coming from the veins. The lower chamber is the ventricle that forces the blood out into the arteries. There is a valve between each atrium and ventricle to prevent the blood from flowing backwards. The valves are like one-way doors that keep the blood moving only in one direction. Valves control movement of the blood into the heart and out to the aorta and the pulmonary artery. All the muscle tissue of the heart do not contract at the same time. Different parts of the heart contract at different times. When the top portion contracts, the bottom relaxes. When the bottom contracts, the top relaxes. When a chamber contracts, it becomes smaller and the blood inside gets squeezed or pumped out. Now, can you imagine the process of how the respiratory and circulatory systems work together? Yes, that's great! As you breathe in, air first enters your lungs and then into the left part of your heart. It is then driven by your heart into the bloodstream all the way through your body. The heart pumps blood, which carries essential nutrients, oxygen, and other chemicals to every cell of your body. Once it reaches the cells, oxygen processes the nutrients to release energy. Carbon dioxide is given off during this process. The blood delivers carbon dioxide into the right portion of your heart, from which it is pumped to the lungs. Carbon dioxide exits your body through the lungs when you exhale. Directions. Look at the word pool flashed on the screen. Find the words associated to respiratory and circulatory systems. Write your answers on your paper. Check your answers on the screen. I am confident that most of you get the correct answers. Very good, learners! Now, let us move on to the next part of our lesson. I am sure that you're all familiar with Moringa oleifera. In this activity, you are going to make an analogy between malunggay stalk with the organs that belong to respiratory and circulatory systems. Let's get started. Procedure. Study the drawing of the malunggay model of the breathing system on the right, or get malunggay leaves in your area. Let the leaves represent the breathing system. Locate the parts of the breathing system. The main stem or the petiole as the trachea. The branches represent bronchi. The sub-branches as the bronchioles, and the leaves as air sacs or alveoli. For our guide questions in this activity, answer the following questions. Write your answers on a sheet of paper. Question 1. What does each part of the malunggay model represent in relation to the breathing system? Question 2. How will you describe the pathway of the oxygen in the breathing system? Option 1. From the nose and mouth, oxygen travels to the trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and then into the alveoli. Option 2. The air passes through the alveoli, bronchi, trachea, and finally into bronchioles. Question 3. What will happen if one part of the system fails to carry out its function properly? Option 1. The human will still survive because each part of the respiratory system works independently from each other. Option 2. The other parts of the breathing system will not be able to carry out their corresponding functions as well, and the whole respiratory system will be affected. Please check your answers on the screen. Great, learners! You did a great job in answering the activities. Because we are done with the discussion, it's time to summarize what you have learned today. Respiratory and circulatory systems work together to transport oxygen-rich blood and nutrients to the different parts of the body. Air enters the body through the nose or the nasal passages, and then through the windpipe or trachea, which divides into two branches called bronchial tubes or bronchi. It's subdivided many times inside the lungs, forming hair-like tubes called bronchioles. At the end of those hair-like tubes are tiny bubble-like structures called alveoli. Air first enters your lungs and then into the left part of your heart. It is then pumped by your heart into the bloodstream all the way through your body. Once it reaches the cells, oxygen processes the nutrients to release energy. The heart is a hollow muscular organ about the size of your fist. It is in the center of your chest, between the lungs. It is a double pump that sends blood on the left and right sides. Directions. Listen to the questions carefully. Choose the correct answer and write it on your paper. Question 1. Which of the following is the smallest blood vessel that carries the blood from the arteries to the veins? A. Aorta. B. Capillary. C. Platelet. D. Vena cava. Question 2. What is the process by which oxygen is taken into an organism and carbon dioxide is eliminated from the organism? A. Circulation. B. Excretion. C. Respiration. D. Secretion. Question 3. Which blood vessel carries oxygenated blood from the heart to the other organs of the body? A. Arteries. B. Capillaries. C. Platelets. D. Veins. Question 4. In which of the following will gaseous exchange takes place? A. Alveoli. B. Bronchi. C. Bronchioles. D. Trachea. Question 5. What is the main function of blood? A. Carries messages through all the body to direct body movement. B. Carries messages to parts of cells to tell them how to develop. C. Carries oxygen, nutrients, and waste, fight diseases, and regulates body temperature. D. Digests food and break it down to be used as energy. Check your answers on the screen. Number 1, B. Number 2, C. Number 3, A. Number 4, A. Number 5, C. Great! Well done, Science Explorers! For the last task, I will give you an assignment. As a grade 9 student, it is very timely and of great advantage for you to learn the functions and importance of the respiratory system and circulatory systems in our body. In this way, you would be able to think of ways on how to take care of the systems to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. We can help combat this pandemic by starting it within ourselves. In your own simple ways, what are the things that you can suggest in flattening the curve? Give at least 5 suggestions in a manner of slogan or poster to be submitted to your teacher. Refer to the rubric flashed on the screen as your guide in rating your outputs. I hope all of you have enjoyed our wonderful learnings in this episode. Keep discovering and continue exploring. For our next episode, we will discuss how one's lifestyle can affect the functioning of respiratory and circulatory system. This has been your science teacher, Ma'am Noemi. See you again in the next episode of Puerto Princesa Dream TV.